Considered by many as favourites for this year's Champions League crown, Manchester City returned from a two-game trip to London with plenty to do in their quest for the quadruple.
But whilst the sun shone for Spurs in the first leg, the absence of Harry Kane could be a key factor ahead of Game 2 here in Manchester.
And to find out just how Pep's men will approach this return fixture, we'll be chatting to an all-time City great and a man who won the Champions League, playing under him at Barcelona in 2009.
Whilst you figure out who that is, let's take a stroll. It's montage time!
Despite Manchester being the third biggest city in the UK, City and United have won a combined 25 top-flight titles.
4 more than the total won by clubs down south in the capital. City scored a Premier League record 106 goals as they eased to the title last season.
It was a different story in 2007, however, when Stuart Pearce's side scored a record low at 10 goals at home.
131 years ago, the world's first professional league, aptly named the Football League, was created on this very spot.
6 years after Manchester City came into existence in 1894.
One man who's already cemented his place in the Manchester City history books is Yaya Touré.
The Ivorian midfielder has played over 300 games for City, scoring nearly 80 goals and winning 6 major trophies across 8 seasons.
Having shared a dressing room with most of the current City squad and played under Pep in Manchester and Barcelona, who better to break down City's current Champions League campaign?
Yaya, it obviously wasn't the ideal start for City in the first leg, but April 2016 was the last time they failed to score at home in the Champions League. So do you think they're still favourites to progress?
Yeah, I think so, because City is such a strong side at home, They can do it because the team are young, The team are very young, and as I know them, they're desperate to get something historical for this football club, because Tottenham, of course, is a great team, great clubs. Recently, they've been doing well in Europe. But let's see. It's 50-50, to be honest.
There was no starting lineup place for Kevin De Bruyne and Leroy Sané in London. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, but was that a mistake? Should they both start in the second leg?
As I know Pep Guardiola, it's not a mistake, I think for the next games, they're going to be useful, but depends, because he's always putting his best start 11, to be honest.
How do you think Pep would have spoken or approached the team after that loss this week? Like, what kind of style would he have used?
As manager, as I know him from a long time, I think he's type of guy who's very clever, and he know what to say to this team, and he know the limit of his team as well, and of course the tension, the emotion as well, the game can affect a little bit, but not much, I hope and I want City to go through, but let's see what's going to happen.
Of course you do.
Now, Harry Kane, he scored against you twice in games for Spurs, so you know as well as anybody else how big a threat he is. Could this be a turning point, really, in this tie, this new injury to him?
As a City fans, I think I'm quite not happy, of course, for his injury, because it's top side. You always want to enjoy and look at this kind of player playing in football field, It's very hard for Tottenham if he's not being available for this game in Wednesday. I think we're quite happy with that, because he's one of the top players in Europe.
Your playing career is surely far from over. Can we expect to see you playing in the Premier League next year?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? After my spell in Olympiacos, I just want to shut a little bit down, and if I can get a team start the preseason for me, it's going to be something very, very important to use to know my teammate, with who I'm going to play around, and try to give it my best, my experience as well to the team I'm going to come in on. But let's see, we never know.
Now, can we take you back to 2009, just your second season at Barcelona, and you find yourself starting out of position at centre-back in the Champions League final. What was going through your mind ahead of that game?
In the beginning, I wanted to play this game. Any position I will be able, but defense, central back, because quite like if I do a mistake, it can cost the team. And those games was so important for this football club, and we were far to get the triple, the historic triple. But of course, it was Piqué on my side and Puyol was on my right side. Those guys have experience, and Puyol was guy, yeah, you can do it. If you do a mistake, don't get it. If you have the ball, give it to Xavi. I said, guys, please let me focus a little bit. It's a big challenge there. The day before the game, I was quite intense. I was sleeping and thinking, oh, I have to be focused, I have to be focused, I have to be focused. It was unbelievable.
Well, you were focused and you rose to that challenge because you managed to keep a clean sheet against the likes of Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney. You know, just describe after it how that was.
I was very, very happy with my performance. But of course, Cristiano, Rooney, Giggs as well, Park and Berbatov after Tivers, you know, those players are killer, you know. And one mistake, it can cost you a lot. It was something special for me because I was not used to playing that position. It was the first time, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
You've won loads of trophies of City, but not the Champions League. Do you, regret they didn't have more success in Europe when you were there?
Yeah, definitely. This is my only regret. I wish I would win this trophy for the fans and for this football club. I knew it's gonna be hard work, but for me, it was first of all started with local trophy. You know what I mean, like FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League. We did it, but my one was Champions League or maybe Europa League, European League. You know, I wish my teammate is gonna do that. You know, and yeah, City are very strong, but to be respectful in Europe, you have to lift this trophy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for chatting to us. We'll be testing your knowledge in just a short while, but right now, it's time for a bit of retro magic from the guys at 8-Bit Football.
Hi Yaya, Duncan Alexander here. You used to dominate Premier League matches with ease, but can you dominate the Opta database? Let's find out.
Let's find out indeed. That was our Opta stats guru, Duncan Alexander. He's going to ask you 5 questions.
Yep.
We can give you a clue to just one of them. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You are the owner of the best 100% penalty record in Premier League history, but how many penalties did you take?
I think 11, yeah.
11 was the right answer.
You famously scored the winning goal in the 2011 FA Cup final, but who was Stoke's Danish goalkeeper that you scored past?
I don't remember, to be honest.
FA Cup final though.
Yeah.
2011.
I forget. I don't remember.
Thomas Sorensen. Sorensen.
In your last ever La Liga game for Barcelona, you assisted 2 goals for Lionel Messi, but which Real team were you playing that day?
Valladolid?
He's got it at the 10th, everybody! Yes!
If we combine Premier League goals with Premier League wins, who has the highest figure, you or your brother Colo?
I think Colo.
It was a brave choice. It was the correct choice. Colo's 218 versus your own, very respectable, 230.
Yeah, because Invincible was unbelievable.
Which English striker, who also happens to be the record scorer for New York Red Bulls, was the last Manchester City player to wear the number 42 squad number in the Premier League before you?
Sean Wright-Phillips.
Very close.
Very, very close. Not quite close enough. Bradley Wright-Phillips.
Oh.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Means you scored 3 out of 5.
A very respectable 3.
Thank you. Not bad.
Now shortly we'll put Yaya's perfect penalty record to the test. But first, let's take another quick trip around Europe with our goal correspondents in Euro Express.
It was a very tough game at Johan Cruyff Arena, and it will be the same here at Allianz Stadium. But Juventus are still remain the clear favorite to win this game, so my prediction is 2-0 for the Bianconeri.
It's time for Barcelona for finishing the job. Blaugranas were able to first win at Old Trafford the last week, and now they are focused on catching out Man United from UEFA Champions League. It is from 3 seasons. Blaugranas doesn't reach the semi-final, but right now, even if nobody thinks that the job is done, Barcelona is completely focused on that second game against Man United.
Manchester City will have a bit of a job on their hands when they welcome Tottenham to the Etihad Stadium on Wednesday night, having lost the first leg 1-0 in London. But they played pretty defensively in that first game, and I think there'll be more attacking this time round and get the job done by winning 3-1.
Marcos Alonso's fantastic headed goal in the first leg against Slavia Prague gives Chelsea a huge advantage, an away goal going into the second leg at Stamford Bridge, and I think Chelsea are one of the favourites for the competition.
Yaya, we know you like penalties. You've taken quite a few in your career,
Yeah.
and you haven't missed a single one.
Lucky me.
Well, I know, lucky you, but maybe not lucky this guy. So how do you feel about 5 more against that chap in the goal?
I'll try my best. Let's do this.
Penalty 1, normal penalty worth 10 points.
Let's do this.
He sold me with his eyes.
Penalty number 2, wrong foot worth 20 points. Ready?
Let's do this. What is that? Oh, la, la.
Penalty number 3, no look penalty for 30 points.
Let's do this.
Yes.
My luck is going now.
Penalty 4, the Rabona for 40 points. You got this.
He saved it too.
Penalty number 5, the blindfolded penalty worth 50 points. Yeah.
No one's even managed to get one of these on target so far.
Let's
Just
do
add a
this.
little
I
bit
will.
of pressure.
I will. Oh, Jesus.
Not a bad effort.
Well, that does mean you scored 30 points.
Yaya, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks for coming down, mate. We're looking forward to seeing you playing in the very near future. But in the meantime, why don't we check out this week's fixtures? On Tuesday, Juventus will look to end the Ajax fairy tale in Turin. And Manchester United needs something special away in Barcelona.
24 hours later, Tottenham will hope to stifle City's formidable home attack. And Liverpool travel to Porto with a 2-goal advantage.
In the Europa League, Valencia and Villarreal continue their all-Spanish affair, whilst Benfica head north to Frankfurt.
Napoli will look to make home advantage count against Arsenal. And Chelsea are back at the bridge against Slavia Prague. Thanks again to Yaya Touré for being such a great guest. We'll be back for the semi-finals, but which clubs will be joining us there?
Can Solskjaer summon the spirit of '99 at the Camp Nou? Will Pep's European trophy drought continue? And will Ronaldo ever stop scoring in the Champions League knockout stages?
And you're getting quite good at these penalty saves.
Well noticed, Rach. It's the hands that are doing all the work.
But who will you be facing next?
Does it
well,
matter?
it does.
Oh,
And we'll
really?
be finding out in a couple of weeks' time. But right now, it's goodbye from Manchester.
There are.